Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. I am Tida Pichakron, chef, owner of Haute Sweets Patisserie here in Dallas, Texas. While we are sheltering in place, I figured I would share some of my go-to recipes. They're super simple, easy. This one that we're gonna be doing today, a chocolate flourless cake. 3 simple ingredients: chocolate, anything kind of high quality is really what you're going for, butter and eggs. We've got on the stove a pot with a little water. Now it's only about halfway full of water because I don't want that water to touch the bottom of the bowl. This is essentially going to melt my butter and my chocolate. I'll put the bowl on top. Now we don't want this to be boiling. This is 8 ounces of butter, unsalted. Very, very important that when you're baking, you use unsalted butter. While we're waiting for that to melt, we're gonna go ahead and whip up the eggs. We've got 8 eggs. They don't need to sit at room temperature. You don't need to do anything special. You can take them straight from the fridge, crack them, put them in the bowl, and then get it going. You'll throw it on to, I've got right here a KitchenAid stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, it's totally okay. You can just use a hand mixer. What we're gonna do is actually just increase this all the way to high. We wanna whip up these eggs so that there's 2 things that we're looking for. They double in volume and also lighten in color. While all that is melted, we're gonna go ahead and throw in the chocolate and let this sit here. You'll wanna stir it occasionally and we'll wanna turn down the heat just a little bit. So I don't wanna burn that chocolate. While that is going, I'm gonna prepare our 8-inch cake pan. So essentially, it's a 3-inch deep cake pan we've got right here. And then I've got a little parchment circle. I'm gonna spray this with a little grease spray, little pan spray. If you have Pam at home, that's totally fine. You're gonna wanna get the sides and the bottom. And then all we're gonna do is take the parchment circle, place it inside like so. We'll remove this guy from the double boiler. I always like to make sure I wipe down the bowl so I don't get any water that doesn't need to be in the recipe. We're gonna fold 1/3 of the eggs into your melted chocolate at a time. When you're folding, you don't need to worry about getting all of it folded in the first couple of folds because we don't want to over mix and over fold. We don't want to agitate it by stirring like that because we're going to break down all of that volume we just created with those eggs in that mixer. Once we have all of the egg in, we will fold this completely so that you don't see any streaks. All right, and that is perfect. If you had small silicone molds, you could use a little cookie scooper to portion it into each of the molds. And then I'll just take a little offset, smooth this down. And then this, we will put into the oven, 300 degrees. We are gonna bake it in a water bath. So what that means is that I wanna put this pan into another pan that's bigger, but also has enough room so that way I can get water to go up about halfway up this pan. Again, we'll bake that for about 20 to 25 minutes. We've got a convection oven here, so we'll actually bake it for about halfway, and then we'll turn our pan. At home in a conventional oven, you should be able to just go for the entire time. If you want to turn it, it'd be fine as well. So this is out of the oven. We've been in for about 28 minutes. This is perfect. It's just barely a jiggle when you hit the cake pan. So we're going to pop it into the freezer. We've got to allow it to completely freeze. We've got the cake frozen. It's ready to go and get popped out. If you are also doing these in silicone molds, same thing. You still need to freeze them, but it's going to be a lot easier to pop out because all you have to do is just push them out of the mold. With this, it's a little more complicated. Now, at home, you probably don't have this nice industrial torch. It's really nice. If you don't have that, all you need to do is get a pan of hot water, and you'll use that. What you'll do is you'll dip this into that pan, and that heat will eventually loosen the cake from and allow it to pop out. When you've done it enough, then all you have to do is just press down and the cake will release. Voila. To stick this, so what we'll have is we've got a little cake pan. I'm going to take a little of this ganache, and it's going to act like a glue. And stick right on top. You can leave it like this. If you want to finish it off, we've got a ganache already made. It's really simple to make. All you need to do is equal parts of cream and chocolate. So it could be 8 ounces of cream, 8 ounces of chocolate. Heat that cream up almost to a boil. Pour that over your chocolate and then whisk to combine. So then we'll just pour this on top. Just a little, like so. And then I'm going to just gently roll that ganache around to create a nice, even layer. And that finishes it off. So once you've got the ganache glaze on top of the cake, you can allow this to set in the fridge for just a little bit, probably about 10 minutes, before you can top it with any berries or whipped cream. Before we cut this bad boy up, let me talk to you a little about a couple of variations that you can make with this cake. So it doesn't need to just be a chocolate cake. You can actually make it a mocha cake. So if you've got some coffee extracts, you can throw that in with the chocolate and the butter when you're whisking. A chocolate orange would be wonderful around the holidays. If you wanted to make it a Mexican hot chocolate, throw in some cinnamon, maybe a little nutmeg, and maybe just a little cayenne or chili powder. The possibilities are endless, but we're gonna cut into this guy and see what it looks like. So all you need to do, this is really crucial, is you do want a hot knife. Heat that blade up. All right? Then we're gonna cut into the cake. Pull it out. Before we heat it up again, wipe it. Nice and clean. Heat it again. And another nice clean slice. And this beauty right here. Thank y'all for joining me today. Again, I am Tida Pichakron with Haute Sweets Patisserie, and I hope you enjoyed this really simple recipe that you can make at home, whether you're sheltering in place or anytime. It's a wonderful showstopper. Follow us on our social media, Instagram or Facebook, and let me know of any questions or issues that you might be having, and please tag us with any of your wonderful creations. Thank you.